Hello everyone, Reed Newbert here. I'm working right now on some videos of our most recent expedition to the Pyrenees. But one thing I thought you might notice as you watch that, hopefully you'll watch that over the next few months as I release them, is that the tandem is red and not white, and it looks like we got a new tandem, but we really didn't get a new tandem. We love our tandem, we couldn't part with it, but after 20,000 miles, 4 European expeditions, 4 200-mile bike rides, lots of centuries, and just lots of abuse over time.
Well, that was a disaster.
We felt like it was probably time to give the bike a good makeover. So worked with some of my friends that I'll introduce you to in this video and did a complete makeover of the bike, changing the color to red, changing out the grupo completely, and virtually making ourselves a new bike that would last us for another 10 years. So here's a video about how we did it and about the process that we went through. I hope you'll enjoy it. So in order to powder coat your aluminum bike frame a new color, you have to first strip and sandblast it. But before you do that, you have to remove everything. And I mean everything. I'm not a bike mechanic, but if you watch home improvement shows, even amateurs can rip out walls once they know they aren't load-bearing. So I jumped in and removed everything I felt confident and had the tools to remove, documenting everything I could with additional pictures and videos so I could put most of it back together again. We are now going beyond the point of no return because I'm going to snip some wires, and it's not actually the point of no return, it's the point of no return for a mechanic like me. So here we go. Right now, I'm going to take this cable and go. I'm going to take this cable and go. Take this cable. Number 3, which we will only have one cable going to the back after I'm done. There we go. So, anyway, pretty crazy, huh? I wanted you to see that. A little shocking, huh?
Very.
I watched a YouTube video. A win! I can't tell you how good that feels. Alright, so now I have everything off except for the cranks, which that one spins nicely, and this one here leaves quite a bit to be desired. So I'm going to take this over to Biker's Edge. They're going to help me get the cranks off, make sure that I don't do anything wrong there, and since those guys are the ones that are going to help me put it back together. So, good progress tonight. So now that I have all the parts removed from the bicycle frame, it's time to take the empty frame over to my friend Brad at Utah Powder Works, where it can be stripped, sandblasted, and powder coated.
We've got the frame stripped down, we've got it pressure washed and what's called outgassed, and outgassing is where we put it in the oven, heat it up well past the cure temperature so that anything in the pores of the aluminum will come out and not come out during the curing. So here's the bike, we've got the frame in the fork, still a little residual paint on it, but mostly clean. And the next step is to mask off all the machined areas, threads, all the areas we don't want to get media blasted, so we can keep it as virgin a surface as possible. So reassembly is really easy. And what the media blasting does is 2 things. It keeps the metal really clean and it creates a profile. It's a sharp media. So it creates, if you look at it like under a microscope, it's almost got a sharp profile to it, so the powder has something to cling onto. So that's what we're gonna do next. Plug up all the holes the best we can, then get it in the blast cabinet.
So you've got all this assortment of plugs here to use?
Yep, exactly. Just ordered a whole bunch of sizes and you just pick one out, find the right size hole and go.
Okay, so plug all these holes.
Yep.
Then put it in the sandblaster.
Yep, then we'll take it over to the cabinet over here. And then you get to try your hand at media blasting.
I know. I'm very excited to do that.
And this is the 100 mesh garnet.
Okay. Yeah, very fine.
So very fine, yeah. We're not trying to use like playground sand.
All right, it's going into the sandblaster. Looking really cool, Brad.
Totally cool. For this, we're doing a custom color. It's an Illusion series color from Prismatic Powders. And the Illusions are kind of cool. They're a dormant powder where you do a metallic base coat goes in the oven, and right as the powder melts, we pull it out, let it cool off, and then it doesn't really look like the final color. So once it cools off, we add a gloss clear coat to it, and then we get these kind of colors. So they're pretty cool looking red, and we're mixing Illusion Ruby and Illusion Red in a 60-40 mix to get a color similar to this. And that's what Lisa and Reed have chosen. So we've got it mixed up here, the two powders, it's kind of a 60-40 ratio. Just weighed it out. And then we're going to mix it in this fluidized hopper, and this fluidized hopper will help mix up the two colors that are in here. So this is the dry powder. It's a dried polyester. We're not really fluidizing yet. It's like a fluidized bed. If you have a bunch of sand and it's just sitting in a container, you can't put your hand through it. As soon as you introduce a bunch of air from the bottom, then you can take your arm right through it. It acts like a liquid. So that helps mix it up. It makes the metallics not, you don't get any striation, with the different elements inside of the powder.
That's perfectly mixed then.
Yeah, exactly.
Blow it out, plug it up, and put a coat of powder on it.
Yep, and we get to do that twice because there are 2 coats of powder. We'll connect the hose between here and the gun, and then get our electrostatic set and our powder volume, make sure there's not too much powder or too little coming out, and then we'll be ready to powder coat once we're done masking.
The rack the bike is hanging from has an electrical charge going through it. The hangers connecting the frame to the rack are metal, so the bike frame is literally electrostatically attracting the paint particles to it as Brad waves the paint powder next to the frame.
We'll get it in the oven now, so now it's just going to go until flow out, which is where the powder starts to melt. That's the instructions, is 2 minutes past flow out, pull it, let it cool, apply the clear, and then it goes in for 375 degrees for 18 minutes. And then once it's done, it's cured, it's thermo set, so cures once and done. But what happens is, right now it looks like kind of garbage. It looks nothing like, kind of the color we're going for.
Right.
But once we add the clear coat, all those pigments in the base coat will mix with the clear, and you get this really amazing candy look to the powder.
All right, fork's coming out. Ooh, that's pretty.
Does that look a little different than the first coat?
Yeah. All right, here it comes. What do you think, Brad? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Now that it's powder coated, it's time to start putting it all back together. First, I did the simple things like seats, handlebars, and wheels. But then I took it to Zach at Biker's Edge in Caseville, Utah. Zach had actually researched an entirely new grupo for this bike that is awesome. First of all, it included changing from a cabled gear system, which on a tandem is always very tough to keep in tune because the cable from the front to the rear is so long, to the SRAM X01 Eagle AXS 12-speed electric shifting system.
With a compass and a stalk in this thing which tells time. Wow, that's great.
Next, and related, we changed the gearing from a triple chain ring in the front and a 10-speed cassette in the rear to a 1x12 with a 44-tooth chain ring in the front and a whopping 10x52 in the rear for climbing. Yes, you heard that right, 52. And last, we swapped out the all-mechanical braking system and changed to full hydraulic brakes in front and a hybrid mechanical hydraulic system in the rear using a cable to access the hydraulics inside the brake housing. This was done using the SRAM Force ETAP AXS system. So, to me, the improvements were immediately apparent. The biggest thing was the electric shifting. No more question marks when I change gears, it just locks into gear. I also didn't miss any of the interior gear options we lost going from a 3x10 to a 1x12. I still had all the gears I needed, and with the electric shifting, I can see what gear I'm in at any time using the Bluetooth connection between my derailleur and my Garmin. So that's it.
Here we are on the maiden voyage.
Maiden voyage.
How do you like it?
I love it.
That's it. Watch.
Oh, I'm never going to say clickers again.
No more clickers.
No more clickers.
Thanks to that fancy SRAM technology. So from there, that's our easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the easy gear. It just goes right onto it. That's amazing.
Look at the sparkle. Sparkly. Commencing.
It's
Yes.
sparkling.
Sparkly. Oh, we're